Welcome. We're calling this video Photography Basics. We're going to show you in a few minutes that anybody watching this, single or if you're in a group or whatever, we're all going to get you taking much better photos in just a few minutes. Okay, follow me on this. All right, so here we go. First off, obviously, I'm going to assume everybody owns one of these, right? Smartphone. But obviously, I know a lot of schools, if we're talking about in-school photos and so on, students, up, got to put the phone away, lock it up, and all that other sort of stuff. Hopefully we can get around that. Now, maybe you've done this already, but if not, I've got three quick suggestions. Go to your administration to essentially make the pitch that, hey, we really need our yearbook kids to have their phones available to be able to take pictures in a moment's notice instead of running to the yearbook room to try to get an SLR camera. And by the time you get back, whatever it was is totally done. You've missed it. Or walking around all day with an SLR camera, not exactly great. But if we've got one of these, especially one of the newer phones, three things to do. Number one, you go to your administration, you say, look, we need our kids to be able to use their phones for yearbook photos. We'll do three things. Number one, every yearbook staffer will have a press pass of some kind. And so whenever they are out taking pictures for yearbook, they always must display their press pass to let folks know, okay, that's a yearbook person right there. Number two, if they're taking pictures during a class, they have to get the teacher's permission to take the pictures before they start snapping, always. And then number three, if one of the yearbook staffers is caught doing things with this that they're not supposed to be doing during the school day, they immediately lose their privileges and they are out. All right. I think if you go to probably any principal, any administration and say, look, we'll do these three things. We really want to use our phones for yearbook photos. Hopefully your yearbook, your administration is going to say, okay, we get it. All right, you're fine. We're going to be watching you. They'll probably say that, but let's see what we can do. There's an old line of photography. The best camera is the one you have with you. And normally that's one of these. And I tell you what, again, for the folks that may be doing this for a long time, I mean, these things have gotten really, really good now. Let me show you a couple of quick examples. All right, here we go. Yep, this is my dog, Domino. Yeah, he's a precocious one, this guy. And I was outside with him one day with the ball, of course. We're playing the ball and he's having a good time. I just whipped out my iPhone 16 in my case, whipped out my iPhone and just snapped photos and was actually very happy with the pictures I got. Here's one. We'll do a second one. What I usually call action blur with older smartphones. Yeah, you definitely see it, right? I tell you what, they are closing the gap on SLRs. Now, if you have an SLR camera, it is still the best way to go, especially for action shots and maybe for some other things as well. Okay. Smartphones, I think, is perfectly great for everything else. But I tell you what, my pictures there of Domino, there's essentially no action blur there as he's chasing the ball. Maybe you could go with that as well. Newer phones, the better cameras, they're getting really good. All right, but besides all that, no matter what camera you have in your hands, all right, how can you take better photos? Well, I believe firmly anybody can take great photos. All you got to do is just think ahead a little bit as you go into a situation where you're taking pictures. Let's remember three key words here. And so no matter what it is, you're covering a sports game, a class, a dance, an activity, whatever it is, walk in with these three things. This is what we're looking for. We're looking for action, reaction, and emotion. All right, action is obvious, people doing things. All right, everybody hopefully does that. Reaction photos, actually, I rarely see in yearbooks. And it's too bad because they're great shots. People reacting to something that's happening around them. It might be, a look of, oh, or oh, and stuff like that. Reaction photos are really good, in part because they probably show number three, emotion. And emotion primarily is like probably right here. It's all about the face. Somebody is happy, sad, mad, glad, whatever. When we can get pictures that show good action, reaction, and or emotion, those are memorable pictures. So remember those three words, and every time you're out, don't just go snap, 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 and no rhyme or reason. We need that rhyme or reason. Action, reaction, emotion helps to start thinking about taking better photos. Now, you may hear the term composition techniques when it comes to photography, and any of these are good. Again, I've been doing this a long time, and I see too many students, too many advisors. Pretty much all they do with whatever camera they've got, they just kind of march up to their subject. Okay, hold still. Okay, click, click, click. Boring. All right. If you have boring photos, come on. Yes, you do. I know you do. What happens is a lot of times when you just do that and you just show up with a camera, especially with students, what happens? They start gawking for the camera, right? Woo, woo, woo. Kids are laughing at me right now. Isn't that true, though? Over many, many years, I saw way too many of these photos. And I would then ask the yearbook students afterwards, I would say, is that what people at your school do all day? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And of course, the answer is, well, no. All right, then why are we putting those in the yearbook? We want real life stuff in the yearbook. Here's what life looks like in our school this year. And people are not doing this all day as they're going down the hallway. But invariably, when you do that pose thing, that's what people just do. You know, they do this or something like that. No, no. Whenever that happens, what you should immediately do is just put your camera down because then you're going to send the message, no, 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 that's not what I'm looking for. Just be yourselves. And hopefully, most people will get it. Okay, I got it. And they'll start being themselves. Then you bring the camera back up and take some good shots. But also with composition techniques, just simple, simple stuff. So, for instance, a bird's eye photo is a shot from like up above, shooting down, like you're looking down like a bird. You get a whole different view of life from up there. Now, that could be up on a chair or a ladder or something. Then conversely, there's worm's eye view. Think like a worm way down there on the ground looking up. Get a whole different view of life from down there. All right, try it. Roll around on the floor and shoot up with your camera. You get a whole different view. Things are shaped differently and so on. The rule of thirds idea is an old photo idea. Professional photographers do this all the time. And you'll see it in newspapers, magazines, websites, and so on. What most people do when they go to take a photo, they just automatically center whatever they're shooting in the middle of their frame. Okay, nothing wrong with that, but it's kind of boring. All right, next time you go out, the rule of thirds is really simple. Instead of centering, kind of move, if it's a person, kind of move them a little to the left or maybe a little to the right and take the shot. Now, this person or whatever the topic is kind of offset a little bit. And what that does is it gives an image sort of a sense of depth. All right, look at newspapers, magazines, and so on. You're going to see tons of these photos like, wait a minute, oh, it's over there. Oh, it's over there. Rule of thirds. A lot of phones and cameras and so on might have a button that you can punch, and the little grid kind of pops up on your screen that shows you the rule of thirds, kind of where two lines cross on that grid. That's where you put the subject of your photo, not in the middle. Give it a try. You will be surprised. And then there are a lot of other composition techniques. Very quickly, leading lines. That would be something in a photo looks like a line. It could be a row of chairs. It could be a bookshelf. It could be a row of people or a row of desks. And our eye picks up on that line, just sees it, and it locks on and it follows it to see where the line is going. When you're out and about, see if you can find some leading lines and then incorporate those into a really cool photo. Framing, something forms a frame around somebody. It could be, again, it could be, I don't know, furniture. It could be trees and flowers. It could be other people, and then some person's like in the middle here somehow. Get to look for those types of images. They're really good. This thing frame, and here's this person like in the middle. Really terrific stuff. Repetition, more than one person essentially doing the same thing. So you have like three football players walking out on the field, maybe for the pregame handshake or something, and they're all marching together. Well, that's a repetition photo. Or people dancing on stage and they're doing the same maneuver, all three or four of them. That's a repetition photo. Really interesting stuff there. Fill the frame means fill the frame. No empty space when you go to take a picture of something or somebody. Now, in that case, probably what you're doing is you're going to need to get in close with your camera. No empty space around the edges. We're talking a real close-up, but those are making some really great photos there. Of course, always watch your lighting. All right, this is especially for images at night. All right, if at a sports game or something, and maybe the lighting just isn't really great in here, or a lot of gymnasiums, frankly, the lighting in a gym is not the greatest. See what you can do to fix your lighting so that your shots are well lit. Selective focus is one of my favorites. Selective focus means something is close, something is far away that we're shooting. Focus on one of them. Normally, we focus on what's close, and when we do that, like for a phone, you might touch the screen to set the focus at that spot. What happens is the thing that's far away is kind of blurred out and fuzzy. This thing up close is sharp, and what happens is that fuzzy kind of background makes the thing up close kind of pop right out of the photo. And that is a really cool shot. It takes just a little bit of forethought to take those. And then finally, I'll mention one just called simplicity. Not every picture needs to be some slam bang great photo. Simplicity might be something like a kid's taking a test. All right, take their shot. A kid is sitting on the bench at a sports game. They're not in the game, they're sitting on the bench. Take the shot. Just simple views of everyday life that sometimes really tell a story. It's not slam bang, great action, none of that. It's just a simple photo. Always be on the lookout for those very simple photos. Okay, now try any of those and you will immediately be taking better pictures. So let's do something. All right, if we have students watching this, let's do a student activity. When I'm done here in a moment, I want you to take 3 minutes. That's it. Take 3 minutes with whatever camera, phone, whatever you've got in your hands, and take photos for 3 minutes wherever you are, whatever room you're in right now. See what kind of interesting photos you can get in that room in just a 3 minute span. Now, keep in mind, a yearbook is the story of people, not necessarily the story of objects. So the thought here is see what kind of interesting pictures of people you can get. Now, be careful. When I've done this many times in the past, what happens is people go into their poses and start doing goofy stuff. That's not what we do all day. We want real life action. Somebody working at a computer, somebody at the front board, somebody working on a project, somebody taking a test, whatever. Real life action is what we're shooting for. But don't just, walk up and click. Think, all right, how about some of those composition techniques? Okay, I want to get a reaction to something. I want to get something that shows emotion. Just a little bit of forethought before you start snapping means you're going to be taking better photos. Two more quick things. Number one, my number one photo rule is just get in close, not from half a mile away. If you're at the football game, you shouldn't be taking photos from like the 10th row up in the stands. No, you should be down on the field taking photos. And by the way, when you're doing that, take some time to turn around and take photos of the marching band in the stands, the fans in the stands, the cheerleaders doing their maneuvers and all that stuff. A football game in particular is about a whole lot more than just a bunch of guys running around on the field with a football. There's a lot of other things going on. Take those definite pictures, all right? So never be afraid to get in close. That is just a really simple rule of photography, but it will not let you down. You will get some amazing photos there. Take a variety of different pictures. Again, high, low. I mean, do something simple as this. Kind of tip your camera a little bit, give it a little bit of an angle, like, whoa, that's kind of cool, rather than always just straight on, straight on. Be original with your photography. Think just ahead a little bit, and you will immediately start saying, hey, these are some really good shots. Great stuff to put in the yearbook. Better photos in the yearbook, an immediate upgrade without spending one dime. Now, what can you do? 3 minutes with the student activity. What can you come up with? When you're done, go around the room and show everybody what you took. And then the idea is from here on out, go out and take those photos in the real world. Hope you got something good from this. Thanks for watching.